Hi, my name is Gabby and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to go through Ramit Sethi's conscious spending plan. So let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so I have YNAB pulled up, and that's because I was just going through my numbers and making sure that I'm ready to go for this video. I just thought it'd be a lot faster if I got everything prepped and ready to go so I can just plug everything in. So I have everything written down in my notes, but I'm gonna pull it up on my phone instead of having it on the screen, I think. It is Super Bowl Sunday, so it's about 2 p.m. I'm just gonna watch it at home with my boyfriend. We're just kind of killing time before it's time to get ready to start prepping the wings. So it's kind of like a quiet Sunday right now. We went grocery shopping in the morning and then did a little bit of a tidy up around the apartment. We've been making wings at home for over 10 years, so we've had the same tradition forever, and it's fun. We look forward to it every year. The wings that we make are really labor intensive, so we have to get started early, and we only do them once or twice a year, once for the Super Bowl and another time for something like maybe the Utah BYU game, which is really big for us. So they don't happen often. Deep fry them, so they are very, very not healthy. And we like them that way. We did try to make them in the air fryer, and they were good, but they're just not as good as the way we make them when we deep fry them and then bake them after. And since we only do them once or twice a year, it's okay. So really excited for that a little bit later on. We truly don't really care who wins. I go back and forth. I was excited for like a three-peat, but I really don't care for, I think, Patrick Mahomes and his wife. Yeah. But I think it'd be cool to witness a three-peat. I don't know. I really don't care. I was rooting for the Bills. So it kind of sucks that they didn't make it, but maybe next year. Let's see. Let's pull up my calendar. This week is going to be a really busy week. Tomorrow, my boyfriend's sister's in town. Tuesday, I have a work event. On Wednesday, my boyfriend has an appointment. And I'm not sure exactly what time he'll be back home. So I don't know if I'm going to be like on my own for like dinner or whatever in the evening. We have tennis on Thursday, Valentine's Day, and then plans all weekend. So it's going to be a really busy week, which is both fun and kind of exhausting already, but that's okay. Looking forward to it. Go ahead and get into the spending plan. So the reason I decided to do this is because when I was doing my 2024 like spending recap, when I went over my income versus expense report, which is this spreadsheet, this is a YNAB report that I formatted in a different way. I just removed some rows and just changed the formatting a little bit to make it just better for my eyes and easier for me to read. When I was going over this, I received a comment from Nanette Loves to Budget, and she said that she's like, I can't be sure, but I don't think your shopping is really out of line. I wonder if you would feel better about your shopping if you filled out the conscious spending plan. So this was about a month ago, and since then I have seen a few people put up videos, and when she left this comment, I was like, I really should check this out. This might make me feel better about my shopping, because as we all know, it's an area that I really struggle with. I always want to bring it down, and in 2024 compared to 2023, I did bring it down significantly. My shopping total for 2024, I spent $4,200, but in 2023 it was close to $6,000, which is insane for one person, just me. I just love to buy clothes, and I love purses, I love shoes. That's all that I put in this category, because other things like hobbies and I don't know what else, like tennis gear and stuff like that would go in those different categories. So this is strictly for those type of things. I just really enjoy it. So I have done better but it's still a problem area because I watch other people and I know they have different priorities than me, and that's why personal finance is personal. But this is a huge number for a single person. I'm going to take her advice. I'm going to fill out this plan. I've just been waiting to do this because I've had other videos that I wanted to post and just other priorities for January. I've been really busy. And so now it's finally time to get this done. And I'm so excited to do this. Well, I have done the prep work and looked at my average spent and written that down in my notes app. I haven't entered it into the conscious spending plan. I just kind of grouped them together based on the categories in my notes app, but I haven't actually plugged it in, so I don't know what the percentages look like. So that's all going to be done together with you. So I'm excited to get started. I'm a little nervous because I'm worried that I'm not going to fall into his 50 to 60% for the fixed cost. I think that's going to be low. I'm also going to do this twice, and I will explain why once we get through the first conscious spending plan. I have the conscious spending plan note, if you can see that here, just with notes on my income, fixed costs, everything. I am going to skip the first section, which is the net worth. So I've never revealed my net worth on my channel, and when I do, I want to give it the time that it deserves and give it its own video. So I'm going to go ahead and skip the net worth portion because it really doesn't matter for the rest of the conscious spending plan. So we're going to skip the first portion altogether. So skipping down to my income, I've decided that I'm only going to base this on a 2 paycheck month, since 10 out of the 12 months I get paid twice a month. So my gross monthly pay on those 10 months, I get $5,163.86. So it rounds up to $5,164. My net income would be $3,382 rounding up. I'm going to enter it in with cents and then it can do its business and round. Okay. So the amount is really, in my opinion, for me, fairly low, living in Chicago is not the highest cost of living, but it's also not cheap. So, okay. So we're working with $33.82. That's my base pay after 401k, deductions, HSA, insurances, taxes, obviously. And I also get my train pass withheld from that. My rent and mortgage. So I rent a 1-bedroom apartment with my boyfriend. The amount that we pay our building, and that includes a utility fee, which includes our Wi-Fi, is for my half is $1202.75. For utilities, which includes internet and cable, we don't have cable. Internet is included in the rent that we pay our building, but I'm going to include streaming in this, even though there's Netflix down in subscriptions. But I think the streaming is part of is essentially replacing our cable, so I'm going to include it up here instead. I'm going to put $78.52, and that is our electric bill, which is $50, and then our streaming subscriptions that I split with my boyfriend and my sister, so that's my third of it. Insurance, medical, auto, home, and renters. The only one that comes out of pocket would be my renter's insurance. I don't have a car, and then medical comes out pre-tax, so that would be $583. Car payment and transportation, no car. I had a paid off car when I lived in Utah. I bought it, paid it off, drove it for years, paid off, and then we sold it before we came to Chicago. I do have regrets. I wish I still had it. It is what it is. Transportation for me, that includes $30 in ride share. This fluctuates, so this month I am going to go over, but on average I've been spending less than this. in 2024, it was $30 average per month. So that's what I'm going to use for this. And then $20 for Divvy, which is the bike ride share system that we have here in Chicago, where you can like rent bikes. And then my Divvy membership, which gives me free bike rentals up to 45 minutes and discounted electric bikes. That's $75 for the year, and I get that half off through my work. So that total comes to $56.26. And so what I did for the Divvy membership, I took the $75, divided that by 12, which gave me $6.26, and then added that $6.26 to the $50 for the other amounts that I mentioned. And that's how I got the 56. Debt payments, I don't have any debt that I'm paying off, so we're going to leave that one blank and leave it at 0. For groceries, I'm doing this as groceries, household. It's kind of interesting because like being someone that uses YNAB, we are a lot more prepared for this. We have a lot more like granular categories, or we tend to, and so it doesn't cover as much as what I have in my budget. So I've had to add a few things to these, and I figure it's some of the things I'm adding to this one. I feel like that's where people would fit them in, like household consumables, like cleaning products. I think people would buy with their groceries, as well as personal care like deodorant or shampoo. People would probably buy that at a grocery store. So that's why I'm adding them to this category. So household consumables, and then personal care. I put this at $230, and that is $175 for food, $15 for household consumables, and $40 for personal care. And again, those are just the averages for 2024. For clothes, so I really struggled with this one because my average was about $350 a month, but I wouldn't. Fixed cost is kind of like a weird term, because on one hand, it should be like I kind of see that as a necessity, but it's also, that's not what it's labeled as. I don't know. I struggle with this one. What I ended up doing for this one is I think I'm going to do my Target amount right now, which is $120, and anything over that would be under guilt-free spending, or whatever he calls it. 120 is what my YNAB Target is right now. I think that's a good compromise, because you're still going to need to spend money for clothes because you need clothes to survive. I don't know that you need $120 worth, because I know a lot of people spend way less than that each month, but I think that would be huge progress for me if I were only to spend $120 a month. So we'll do $120. And then for phone, my phone bill is $93.17. And then subscriptions, this is a huge one, and it's mostly because of the gym. $331.11. All right, so the $331.11 includes the gym, which is $227.50, Peloton, which is $23.59 for my half, my Aura Ring subscription, my portion of YNAB, my portion of Amazon Prime, my portion of Stubs, my American Express Platinum yearly fee, and my Sapphire credit card yearly fee. I've talked about all of these things before. I know the American Express Platinum card is a hefty fee, but I've gone over the membership benefits and it's worth it to me. I get my money's worth at a minimum. Like the $695, I get that much in benefits like each year at a minimum. If I didn't, I wouldn't have it. I just had to front the money. So I had to like prepare for that, and that's why I save up for it. So there's that. And then my gym is just, I mean, it's just pricey. We are considering canceling just because I don't know that we're going enough to make it worth it. We mainly use it for tennis, but we do have a gym in our apartment. It's just not that big, doesn't offer as much, but it offers enough for what we do. I don't know. It's just really nice to have our tennis available to us, to be able to rent the courts, but it is a ton of money. Once it warms up, we'll probably cancel, honestly. In the meantime, it's $331 for our monthly subscriptions. All right, miscellaneous. I have seen this in other videos that the $318 for miscellaneous is really high. I just don't think I need that much each month. That's a ton of money because I do prepare in other ways with like my various sinking funds, and I just think this is way too high. I'm gonna lower this to 5%. Whoops. To $106 a month, and even that I think is too much. So that brings my total fixed cost to $22.24 a month, which is 66%. Wow. That is actually a lot of money. Wow. That's crazy. Well, all right. Investments. Let me see what I have for investments. Oh yeah, I don't have anything for under investments because post-tax retirement savings, spoiler alert, I will talk about this in my next video. This is like a budget with me video, but I maxed out my Roth IRA, so I don't have any post-tax retirement investments. So I don't need to put anything here. I mean, that's always my goal for each year, so I'm not actively working to fund that anymore. So we're going to skip this section and then go down to the savings goals. All right, so vacations, this is always like a big category for me because I do enjoy traveling. I want to say that in 2024, I spent like $5,000 on travel. Yeah, almost $5,000 on travel throughout the year. And this is not even considering the fact that we used a significant amount of points, like credit card points for travel. So we did like for gifts, I spent an average of $190 a month, and that is between birthday gifts, Christmas gifts, and gifts to my boyfriend, which is a lot. Wow. I feel like I don't even have a lot of people to give gifts to, so I'm actually surprised it's that much, but I mean, the numbers don't lie. I guess it does include when I buy like little treats. So it adds up. And then long-term emergency fund, I don't send any money to that because I already have it. I have about $20,000 in my emergency fund, which I believe to be more than enough. So I don't actively fund my emergency fund right now. That might need to change in the future. So we'll leave that as is. And then I did want to add a line here for just other sinking funds. Oy. For $415. Shit. And just like that, oh my gosh. So this is the thing. Other sinking funds, $415. That is my birthday sinking fund. Medical, I only send, so birthday would be $50 a month to buy myself something, but I guess that could go under guilt-free spending. So maybe I'll delete 50. So medical would be 20, home goods 40, live events. Let's go ahead and we'll remove live events. I'm changing this to actually 210. I figured some of these other things that I had included that brought it up to the 415 should actually go under guilt-free spending. So what I do have under other sinking funds would be medical, home goods. So home goods would be just anything that we buy for the apartment that aren't like household consumables. So it would be if we buy like a stool for our kitchen counter or like a pot for cooking or whatever. Miscellaneous, because I think it's good to, prepare or just have something for just things that come up, But in like a sinking fund for something that comes up that's bigger. And then visitors for when people come to visit and we need to spend more money when they're here. So all of that would go under a savings goal, $210. And then under guilt-free spending, the categories that I have in my budget that would fall under that would be entertainment, which my current budget is, or my current target is 25. Shopping, my total average spending for last year is $350. 120 was in the fixed expenses, so that would leave $230 a month. Hobbies, 140 was what I spent on average last year. Self-care would be for things like massages and a haircut, but now maybe that would fall under that miscellaneous category because I don't know where else that should be somewhere. I don't know if that's a guilt-free spending like expense because that's something that's needed, Tennis would fall under guilt-free spending, and then dining out those are some of the things that are in my budget that I believe would fall under guilt-free spending, but that definitely would not be covered by $343 a month. But also all those things I wouldn't necessarily spend that much money each month. So I don't know, but I might spend more actually because shopping alone is $230 on average. Yeah. It's just my numbers definitely don't fall within his guidelines. Let's see. It's because these savings goals are high. So they're high, especially it's these. Oh yeah, these. It's crazy. I just didn't expect that these like saving that the issue would be the savings. Like, yeah, my fixed costs are high, and I think that it's the gym, because if I were to remove the gym, which we are seriously considering, that brings me within the fixed costs, like parameters or whatever you want to call them. But that, obviously that doesn't change this. It's crazy that like preparing for these things is what's kind of like messing with the rest of my budget, of my spending plan. All right. Well, this is very interesting. I don't know. I guess I just wasn't expecting this to be the issue. I kind of expected all of this to be the issue. It's a little bit of an issue, and obviously I knew the gym was going to be trouble. I do think that all these numbers are really reasonable. I don't think my rent, I don't think is outrageous. Yeah, vacations technically are part of guilt-free spending, so if I think about it that way. The good news is that because of my 401k contributions, like pre-tax, before my paycheck hits my account, and then because I focus on my Roth IRA so like heavily in December of 2024 and then January of this year. So last month, I don't have to worry about those post-tax retirement savings the rest of the year. Obviously, I do hope to do some more throughout the year, but it's not a huge like concern. It's not going to mess me up for the whole year. It's like that's already like out of sight, out of mind. It's done. I can focus on other things, and that's why I do this, because my paychecks are not very big and I am a spender, and so I need to give it my all while I can in a short period of time when I have the most money, when I'm getting like these Christmas gifts from work and stuff, so that the rest of the year I can spend money on these other things. All right, anyways, moving on. This was interesting. Now, the reason I'm doing a second like part to this is because, so this gross monthly income is based on, again, a 2 paycheck month, but I don't want to count those third paychecks at all because, again, they just happen twice a year, every 6 months or so, and I like to look at those as just like bonus ones. It's what I use to help fund my Roth IRA. So this first one doesn't even count towards spending. You know, I sent the large majority of that to my Roth IRA. So now I only have 1 extra paycheck to budget with for the whole year. But I do have a bonus coming up, and my bonus last year was a good chunk of my salary. I think it was something like 35% of what I brought home. So I need to make sure I account for that. Obviously, I can't count on that much every single year, but my team and my department did very well last year. So I think that at least for this year, you know, it's looking good. So I kind of want to plug in those numbers, the 2024 numbers. I kind of want to plug them in to this calculator and see what my percentages look like using those numbers. What I'm also going to do is not count on those, not use those 2 months that have a third paycheck. So we're including my bonus, but we're also removing those 2 third paychecks. Complicated, I know. $7,197.04 a month. And then net $4,642.10. And again, this is not including any of the extra income, no high yield savings account interest, no cash gifts, no federal refunds, nothing like that, and no third paychecks. This is just income from my full-time job, my bonus, and my 2 paychecks per month. So that changes things just like drastically. It's crazy. I go from 66% of my income going to fixed costs, including my gym, to 48. So now my fixed costs are less than what he recommends, which is nuts. Now I don't even have to cancel my gym. Oh my God. My savings goals, see, still higher than the 5 to 10% that he recommends, but I mean, with this much leeway now that that's decreased, like I'm still hitting 35% here. Wow. Which $1,600 a month, like I don't even want to spend that kind of money. Yeah. So $1,600 is what I could have in guilt-free spending if I were to keep my budget like that with my savings goals. And yeah, and I just don't need that kind of spending money. I don't even want to have that kind of spending money because I could do it. Let me take a look at what I have for so let's see, for my birthday, I would want to say 50, for live events, 105. I just don't feel like restricted in any way. Like last year, Yes, I tried to cut back on my shopping, but I still bought a ton of things and I didn't really feel restricted, which is crazy. So I know I can do better. But even if I were to keep it the same, I would still have about $714 a month extra that I could save or whatever. So let's just be a little conservative and say I did $650 and give myself an extra little bit in spending, just because things are a little more expensive now. So if I send $650 to my brokerage account, that would give me $954 in guilt-free spending. Unreal. That is an insane amount of money. Wow. That really does make me feel better about my shopping. So thank you. Thank you. Nanette loves to budget. Thank you, because I do feel better. Because yeah, like my monthly paychecks are not that high, and this is why, like when I got my bonus last year, I used a portion of it to finish maxing out my Roth IRA. It was like less than $2,000, but I used a large chunk of it to start funding my sinking funds, finish funding them, so that I didn't have to fund them every paychecks, because my paychecks are small and I can't do that every paycheck like a lot of people do and send, a certain amount each paycheck. I just don't have that flexibility. And that's something that I am considering for my bonus this time around, is just taking the amount that I am getting and splitting it up between 26 paychecks and just giving myself a larger paycheck each paycheck. I don't like getting a lump sum once a year. I just look forward to it too much. And then the rest of the year I'm just like, oh, I don't have no money. It does help that obviously I don't have debt, and that I get the funding of my Roth IRA done early, out of the way, so I can move on with my life. And that's why I do it, because there's just not much room in my budget with my regular paychecks to do it later on and throughout the year with the rest of my spending. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this feels good. I do fall within that 20 to 35%. Like 35% of guilt-free spending is a lot of money. Like 20% feels like a lot. It's almost $1,000. I can't imagine really doing much more. I am feeling pretty good about my finances. Anyways, thank you, Nanette, for suggesting I take a look at this, because it's been eye-opening. I was a little scared with looking at just my 2 paychecks per month, but now that I've taken a look at my budget using my full income for the year, it really has changed my mind, and I should look at it that way, because it's money that's coming to me. I'm not planning on leaving my job in the next month and 10 days. So yeah, it does make me feel a lot better, and knowing that, my financial goals have already been met for the year, like the main ones, I feel good. I feel good about, if I want to buy the shoes, I will buy the shoes. I will. Although I'm going to try not to, because I have too much stuff. Even with decluttering my closet, I do have a lot of stuff. So in that sense, I'm going to try and hold off. Thank you so much for joining me in today's video. If you haven't done so already, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe, and I can't wait for Kendrick.